past midnight at NASCAR's Research and Development Center in Concord, North Carolina. 6 race cars sit inside, engines opened, parts laid out for inspection. The winning car isn't one of them. Denny Hamlin had already left the track hours earlier, trophy in hand, but 6 other cars, including the runner-up, were loaded onto trailers bound for deeper technical review. That detail, buried under the celebration, is what the rest of the garage is now talking about. 3 races. 3 wins, a number Hamlin had never reached in 21 years of full-time Cup Series racing, until June 14, 2026 at Pocono Raceway. The headline number gets bigger from there. This was Hamlin's 64th career win, moving him to 9th on NASCAR's all-time wins list, passing his late former teammate Kyle Busch. But that's not even the most talked about part of the night, because while Hamlin celebrated, 6 other cars were already being prepared for a trip nobody wanted. If you're new here, this channel is NASCAR Racing World, and we're closing in on 500 subscribers. If you want the full story behind every headline this season, not just the clip that trends, hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell us in the comments who you think wins the points battle from here. Every bit of that support is what lets us keep digging into stories like this one properly. Here's the full sequence from Pocono. Hamlin started from the pole and led 28 laps. With 4 laps remaining, Christopher Bell, racing with a fractured wrist from a hard crash the week before at Michigan, attempted to stretch his fuel and couldn't hold the lead. Hamlin reclaimed first place and held off Tyler Reddick's number 45 Toyota by 1.678 seconds at the checkered flag. It marked Hamlin's 8th career win at Pocono, a track record at the circuit known as the Tricky Triangle, and his 4th win of the 2026 season. The 3 consecutive victories at Nashville, Michigan, and now Pocono tied a feat last matched by Darrell Waltrip in 1981, and before him Bobby Allison in 1971 and Richard Petty in 1966 and 1967. All 3 are Hall of Famers. Tyler Reddick, who entered the race with a commanding points lead, didn't hide his frustration. "It's a bummer," Reddick said after the race. "We definitely lost time in a couple spots there. Some of it is everyone's racing hard for track position, and some of it is just bad luck, I guess, just where you catch cars. We knew qualifying was going to be tricky coming into this and just weren't able to get stage points." His lead atop the standings, once well over 100 points, had shrunk to just 19 points over Hamlin by the time the race ended. But here's what nobody was discussing in victory lane. While Hamlin's number 11 Toyota cleared post-race inspection on site with no issues, NASCAR announced that 6 cars would be sent to the R&D Center for further evaluation. The number 5 Kyle Larson, number 7 Daniel Suarez, number 12 Ryan Blaney, number 17 Chris Buescher, number 42 John Hunter Nemechek, and number 45 Tyler Reddick. NASCAR reporter Dustin Long confirmed the update directly. NASCAR Cup Series post-race inspection is complete at Pocono Raceway. No issues. All clear. Denny Hamlin is the winner. 6 cars will be going to the R&D Center this week. Sending cars for further review is a routine part of NASCAR's process most weekends, but the optics of the winning car clearing instantly while 6 others, spanning 3 different manufacturers, get pulled aside is exactly the kind of detail that keeps a garage talking. Zoom out from one race weekend, and a season-long pattern starts to take shape. Toyota drivers have won 10 of the first 16 points races in 2026, and Joe Gibbs Racing alone accounts for 5 of those wins. Nobody in the garage has called it cheating. What's circulating instead is a quieter, more pointed question about consistency, why one manufacturer and one team within it keeps separating itself from the field race after race. That question gets sharper once you look at the ownership chart. Tyler Reddick, the man Hamlin held off by 1.678 seconds, drives for 23XI Racing, a team co-owned by Hamlin himself, alongside NBA legend Michael Jordan. Joe Gibbs Racing and 23XI Racing operate under a recognized technical alliance, a structure NASCAR permits and that several manufacturer groups use across the garage. Alliances like this are standard. What's drawing attention here is simpler. The 2 fastest cars at Pocono both came from organizations tied directly to the same driver, one as employee, one as part owner. The human cost of the day sat on the other side of the grid. On lap 47, Josh Berry hit the wall, triggering a multi-car incident that also collected Shane Van Gisbergen, Bubba Wallace, and Noah Gragson. Caught in the same wreck were 2 former Cup Series champions with a finite number of races left to save their seasons, Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski. Logano entered Pocono just 3 points outside the Chase Cutling. He left 21 points out. Keselowski entered 21 points above the Cutling. He left 4 points below it. Both men fell out of Chase contention in a single afternoon with 8 races remaining before the field locks. Logano's frustration after the wreck wasn't aimed at inspection or rival teams, it was aimed at getting off the racetrack. Stranded with all 4 tires flat, he was caught telling track workers, "Put the truck to the thing, I can't drive it, I need a tow truck," before adding once help arrived, "Yeah, that's what I've been asking for." Speaking to reporters afterward, he said plainly, "It's rough, your head's bouncing around in there, it's stupid. I saw at least 25 trucks. If we can put 4 tires on one of them with a jack and an impact that can just change the tires and let us come back instead of dragging the car 2 miles around the racetrack." Neither Logano nor Keselowski has publicly tied the wreck or their playoff collapse to questions about Toyota's dominance. That restraint is notable on its own, 2 champions choosing very specific words in a season where every point matters. Brad Keselowski, for his part, pointed blame toward Bubba Wallace for the contact that ended his day, a claim Wallace's own spotter, Freddie Kraft, pushed back on publicly after the race. Wallace himself dropped to 13th in the standings with 394 points after wrecking out, and has made no public statement connecting Pocono or the inspection list to Toyota's broader run of success this season. For a driver usually willing to speak directly about controversy in the garage, the silence on this particular subject stands out by comparison. Hamlin addressed his own form directly without hedging or deflecting. "I would certainly say it's the best we've been," he said. "We come to the racetrack every week knowing we got a great shot to win. The team's doing an amazing job giving me exactly what I need in the car every single week. That's why we're winning." He also revisited a 4-year-old grievance from the same track. In 2022, NASCAR stripped Hamlin of a Pocono win after his car failed post-race inspection, meaning Sunday's result was technically his 9th win at the circuit, not his 8th. "They aren't getting that checkered flag back," Hamlin said, a pointed reminder that he has had a win taken from him at this exact track before, and that NASCAR's inspection process can cut both ways. If you've made it this far, this is the kind of detail-by-detail breakdown we do every week here on NASCAR Racing World, so if you're enjoying it, drop a comment with your own read on the inspection list, and share this with someone in your group chat who's been arguing about it too. Behind the controversy sits a quieter, more personal story. Hamlin signed a 2-year extension with Joe Gibbs Racing running through 2027, and has repeatedly said this will be his final season. JGR co-owner Heather Gibbs addressed the retirement question directly after Pocono. "I think for Denny, he wants to leave on top, right? He doesn't want to leave where it was 1 year too long. At this rate, what he's producing out there, it's not something you would not consider. We want the best drivers in our cars. Our teams work to put the best cars on track. If it works out and he's still producing and he wants to, it's a huge commitment for him. He's got his own team that he kind of wants to run. It's hard when you dangle checkered flags in front of him too." Hamlin is 45 years old, the oldest full-time driver in the Cup Series field, and still chasing the one accomplishment missing from his resume, a championship. The standings now sit on a knife's edge heading into the back half of the season. Tyler Reddick leads with 704 points. Hamlin trails by 19, Ryan Blaney holds 3rd. Below them, the chase bubble is razor-thin, with Shane Van Gisbergen, Brad Keselowski, and several others separated by single-digit point totals. Christopher Bell, still racing through a fractured wrist, remains in the mix despite the physical toll of his injury, adding a layer of risk on top of the points pressure every team is already carrying. Officially, NASCAR has opened no investigation and issued no penalties tied to Pocono. The 6 cars sent to the R&D Center remain part of the sanctioning body's routine post-race procedure, a process that runs most weekends, regardless of who wins or which manufacturer takes the checkered flag. NASCAR has not announced the results of this week's deeper inspection. Whether that explanation satisfies the rest of the garage is still an open question, and the inspection results from this round of review haven't been released yet. If NASCAR's review turns up something concrete, this stops being background chatter in the garage and becomes the headline story of the season. If every car comes back clean, the conversation shifts entirely, from questions about fairness to questions about whether the rest of the field can simply outdrive Joe Gibbs Racing and 23XI Racing over the next 8 races. Either way, the answer is coming in the middle of a playoff race that is already on a knife's edge, with 8 races left to decide who actually makes the 16-driver chase field. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to NASCAR Racing World for the next update the moment those inspection results are public, and drop a comment telling us where you land on this one, fair dominance, or something the garage should be watching more closely.